Well, what's up, everybody? This is Jake here, and welcome to this episode of Just Jaking Around. Today is the very first Saturday at Hines of the year. From May, whenever, depending on the year. Today it's May 3rd this year. So from today, May 3rd, all the way up until September, I think, 28th or 29th, Hines Park is closed to traffic. So from like 9 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon for bikers and unicyclists and runners and joggers to jog and run in the middle of the road. And there's absolutely no cars whatsoever. The only car that I've seen today is the occasional sheriff's deputy that comes through here once in a great while. But besides that, the only people that are on the road today are bikers and people like, bicyclists, not motorcycles. And, people who want to run and jog and all that stuff. It is a little bit chilly today, so there's really not that many people here. Normally every Saturday it gets really busy with people who are riding their bikes and, doing whatever else that they want to do. Last year I seen some people who were rollerblading, seen a few people roller skate, seen a few people skateboard, quite a few people on one wheels and electric bikes. But this is basically the only day where it's perfectly acceptable to ride in the middle of the road. In fact, I am actually going to, in a minute here, probably just walk to the other side to show you. Look at that. Literally standing in the middle of the road here at Hines Park. Normally this is really busy. There's like cars everywhere and stuff like that. Especially, on the weekends it gets kind of busy. But yeah, Saturdays at Hines. You can literally walk into the middle of the road. You can walk in the middle of the road, bike in the middle of the road, and it's perfectly legal. Who would have known? Anyways, I was gonna bike to Dearborn Heights today, but like I mentioned, it is a little chilly, and there's going to be plenty of these Saturdays at Hines for me to, be able to do. So I figured that I would go the opposite way today and go towards Nankin Mills. Because there's construction going on in Ann Arbor Trail, and I can't get there because normally there's like a bike path that I take from my house to get to where Nankin Mills is, and then I go from Nankin Mills all the way to Dearborn Heights. It's normally how I do it every year, but this year I'm just coming through a different way. I think Merriman Road is the way that I entered, and then came right from Merriman Road all the way here, and I completely bypass Nankin Mills. So I'm going to make my way there instead of going to Dearborn Heights, or all the way to the Dearborn Golf Course, which is where I usually go, and then I turn around, because that's where the whole Saturdays thing is usually done and over with. And we'll go from there. So the last time I tried to go into the building, it was closed. There's like a downstairs area where there's like animals and things, like amphibians and things of that sort. And then you have the upstairs. There's 2 stories. There's a second story and a third story, and that's the museum part, and that's been closed. So I might try to go in there and see if the museum is opened. I don't know if it's opened yet or not. I know it was closed all year last year, so don't know if that changed. But we shall see what happens. on this somewhat chilly May afternoon. So, all right. Well, I guess we're not in Kansas anymore. Dorothy, where are you? Am I the only one that's like literally waiting for a house to fall on top of the Wicked Witch of the West? You have to watch The Wizard of Oz to know what I'm talking about. But it's all based off, it's a gay cinemas. No, but I'm saying The Wizard of Oz is a movie about this girl named Dorothy who gets teleported into this magical land with yellow brick roads and tin men with no brains or no hearts and scarecrows that don't have a brain but somehow know how to talk.
And they sing that song, Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Follow the yellow brick road. Or in this case it would be follow the rocky road.
Where's the Tin Man? Where's the rainbow? I don't see a rainbow. Well, that was very interesting. You know what they say? Sometimes when it comes to life, you just got to get your ducks in a row. So this is a memorial for Sergeant Lee Smith. Sergeant Lee Smith was a sergeant for the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. And on August 14th, 2018, so like 6 years ago, no, Sergeant Smith was jogging on the side of this road right here at Sherwood, a place called Sherwood, here at in Hines Park. Right here, right in this area. And a car came and struck him and killed him. So a memorial was set up here a few months later to pay tribute to Sergeant Lee Smith. Now, he was an active member of the Sheriff's Department at the time that he died, so although it was not technically considered an on-duty death or a line-of-duty death, they still kind of treated it as such because he was still employed and working with the Sheriff's Department when he was killed. Now, there used to be a plaque, but as you can tell, you can't really read what it says. So I'm not even going to attempt to read it. But everything's blue because of, obviously, the whole police thing is, blue and black, thin blue line. You can never be too careful, and to always take caution and be aware of your surroundings at all times, because tragedies like this can happen. It's kind of sobering if you think about it. Now, I don't know how old he was when he died, but from the pictures, I'm assuming he was maybe in his 40s or 50s or something like that. But Sergeant Lee Smith, end of watch, August 14th, 2018. Rest in peace, hero. Thank you for your service. And thank you to all the men and women who wear the uniform, including EMS and fire. Can't leave them out of that, especially. I decided to pull off on this little, I guess, turnaround, if you will. And I happened to come upon this thing. Now, I have absolutely no idea what this is. I'm assuming because there's a cross that maybe there's some sort of a memorial or something is what this is. Maybe it's like a tribute to somebody who had passed away. But the thing is that there's a couple other tribute memorials, if you will, that are scattered throughout this portion of Hines Park. But most of them, well, both of them are actually marked, so you kind of know what it's about or who it's for. But this one, there's absolutely nothing that tells you what this is for. It could be for, maybe it's like a tribute to an animal or something, or a pet, or a human. But what's odd is that there's artificial flowers, because that's what these are, in the trees too. So there's those here, and then there's, looks like a unicorn or something with mistletoe, and then a bunch of other fake flowers. So rather this is like a memorial, or maybe some sort of spiritual thing. I don't know. It could be. Now, I do know a couple of years ago there was a missing person, and they found human remains or something in this area, and it was a woman that they found. So I'm wondering if this was actually the area that they found her remains. I do remember that story. I remember seeing it on the news, and it was right in this area. They said it was right past, or right near Deadman's Hill or Middle Belt Hill, which I just passed Middle Belt Hill, literally right down there. It's Middle Belt Hill. So this very well could be the spot or the area where those remains were found. I think it was like a year ago or 2 years ago now. Because I remember it did happen in Westland, and this is Westland. And it would make perfect sense with the butterflies and then the cross and the flowers, and then you have the looks like barbed wire or something. It's not barbed wire, it's some sort of like a light or decoration or something. And then there's a bunch of like plants and stuff growing around it. But this is what I found the most odd. Is this, I'm assuming it's a unicorn. And it's got fake mistletoe or whatever that is on it. And then there's a bunch of flowers all around that too. So maybe that's, oh, and then there's also over here, there's also Christmas ornaments. And then you have a heart. So this is like one of the oddest things I think I've seen so far today. Because I really have no idea what this is all about. Again, I'm assuming that it has something to do with that missing person, or that those remains that were found a few years ago. It could very well be, because I think this was the area, or it was near this area, so it would make perfect sense. But I don't want to assume, because who knows? Like I said, it could be a tribute to like a pet, or just a regular tribute to another human being or whatever, that they just picked this area to put up the memorial, if you will. Really, really cool how people like to pay tribute to their loved ones, but they make it kind of like, they put it in nature, so to speak. I just think it's really, really cool. I'm going to walk this way and see if there's anything else. I don't think there is. But it's really odd. It's really, really odd. And it's also kind of cool at the same time, because you kind of feel like that detective where you're kind of, you know, trying to guess what it could be. And I don't know. I really don't know what this is about. Two mills have occupied this site. The first was built between 1835 and 1842. The present was constructed soon after the Civil War in 1918. Soon after the Civil War in 1918, Henry Ford purchased it as part of a plan to develop the village mill industries, along with the Rouge and other small rivers, equipped with turbine generators. Nick and Mills produced engravings, contributor parts, rivets, and bearings. Ford believed that farmers working in an atmosphere of cleanliness and tranquility would restore a proper balance between industrialized city and rural communities. Although his experiment intrigued American and European planners, it proved unprofitable. After World War II, the mill closed. The Wayne County Road Commission acquired Nick and Mills, and in 1956 it was given new life as a nature center. So we're here at Nick and Mills, which is this old mill here at Hines Park. So I had my bike locked up, and I figured I would just walk around and show you a little bit about, show you a little history of Hines Park. There's an old barn. Now, I wonder if there's any information about this barn. I know that they have scooter rentals, or Segway rentals here, and I think this is actually where they used to keep them. I don't know if they still do that or not, but at one point you could come here and you could rent unicycles to take up and down the park. Kind of like what I did with my bike today. So if you caught the intro to this, you'll know that this was established in the 1800s. So this has been here, this original building has been here since the 1800s. Now, I believe at one point the mill or the little, whatever it is, the thing that turns, whatever it's called, the wheel. I don't know the name of it, but I believe that was right there. I don't know if they took that down, or maybe it's on the other side. But like I was mentioning before, there's a downstairs area, and then there's 2 stories, as you can see, or 3 stories, as you can see. So the second story, there's a museum that's like dedicated to like Henry Ford and the auto industry, and it kind of explains a little bit about the mill itself. And then the third story up there is where there's like a Native American portion where all the tribes, or the tribe that was in this area, there's a little bit of a history about that. They have a couple like wax figures or whatever, which is pretty cool. Now, like I mentioned before, the museum itself has been closed for renovations, but the downstairs portion is usually open. There's like the downstairs right there, which there's like animals and stuff. They have like amphibians and snakes and cool little things of that sort. I believe it's closed today. Even the inside is closed. And then that's the entrance to the actual building itself. Now, there's another building up here, and I'm going to walk up here, and I'm going to see if I can find any history or information out about this portion of the building. But these are all the original buildings, I believe. I don't know if they did any renovations or anything. I don't think they did. They might have. But, okay. So, maybe this was like a horse barn at one point. Because you have like the 2, I believe those are doors there. And then an old wagon. Is this somebody's house? Does somebody live here? Because there's a barbecue and a wagon. And then you go back here. And there's a fire pit. This is the oddest thing. I'm trying to see if there's like something that explains like information or something. Shovels. I wonder if somebody lives here or lived here at one point. I don't know. It's very odd. I do know that they have bonfires, because I wonder if, because there's 2 fire pits. There's one over by Deadman's Hill. It's like a big one. Then there's this one here. Now, I wonder if this one maybe is used for like scouts, like Boy Scout outings, or maybe like nature, something with nature or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. I really had no idea that this was actually back here. I wonder if you need to get a permit for that, because I would love, if granted permission, to come back here, start a small little kumbaya sing-along session. But yeah, I don't know. Does somebody live? Somebody's gotta live there or lived there at one point, because there's like a flower thing right there. I wonder if maybe it's one of the employees for Nankin Mills. I'm going to walk back over here because my bike is actually locked to that pole right there, or to that bike lock right there. They really revitalized this area. Wayne County Parks put in a lot of work into, I guess, reviving, if you will, the park system, and they're trying to clean it up and make it look really nice and a place that people actually want to come and visit, which I think is amazing. I've been living in this area since 2010, actually, but in my new neighborhood since 2012, but in the Westland area since 2010, and I've been coming here since then, and it's just been getting a little bit more better and better and better. There's still a lot of improvements that the city can make, and they're trying, but they've really done a really outstanding job, especially the bike path. But with Ann Arbor Trail being closed, I have no way of getting on that bike path because that whole sidewalk is shut down because they're taking a bridge out and they're putting a brand new bridge in. So I've been taking Merriman Road. There's a little path that leads down into the park that I can bike down. And I've been taking Merriman Road and going straight to Dearborn Heights and avoiding Nankin Mills. And I haven't been able to get on that bike path this year. So since I'm literally right across the street and it's Saturdays with Hines, and it's 1:40, so there's about an hour left, almost an hour and a half left before the streets open back up to cars and traffic again, and that's when I'm gonna probably be heading out of here. Not that I mind when there's traffic, because I don't, because there's sidewalks and stuff, but I really enjoy the Saturdays at Hines because it's quiet. You don't have, car engines. And I'm gonna make my way across the street to Nankin Mills Park, where all my events are going to be held this year. I have one event in Trenton that I do at Elizabeth Park, which is also a part of Wayne County Parks. And then I have 3 events here. I have Bugtopia, I have Earth Day, which just happened last weekend right there at Nankin Mills Park. And then I have the Powwow, also at Nankin Mills Park in September, that I'm doing first aid at as well. And then obviously I have Autos for Autism that I'm going to be doing next month on the 16th, which I'm excited about in Garden City. And then there's that Pride event in Plymouth that I'm doing some medical stuff at, the first aid at. That's another first aid station. So I got a busy summer coming up. But the city of Westland put in a sidewalk. So there's a fully paved sidewalk all the way from here all the way to Ann Arbor Trail and so on and so forth. So I've been, like I said, completely bypassing this area because of the construction that's been going on lately. Now, I'm going to make my way down there right now to show you what it looks like. I was at Nankin Mills filming something for this vlog, which is right across the street, and I figured while I'm here I might as well, because normally what I've been doing is I've been going straight to Dearborn Heights, and then from Dearborn Heights I get off at Merriman and usually head right back home. I don't even go through this area anymore on my bike, unless of course I'm going to an event that I'm doing first aid at. Then of course I have to come this way. But This year for Saturdays at Hines, I will not be as often as I did last year. So any opportunity I have to do a little bit of filming here, I'm going to do. But it's a beautiful area. It really is a really beautiful area. Now, of course, this bridge, oh, there's locks. Oh, somebody's been putting locks. I went to Hell, Michigan yesterday to film a little video, and there was a bridge that had locks on it called the Locks of Love Bridge. And wow, now there's locks on this bridge too. I wonder if that's like a new thing or something. I'm gonna have to look into that, what the meaning behind the locks are. There's gotta be a meaning behind it. So yeah, this is what I mean by the sidewalks. Because you have a sidewalk here, and then what you do is that you turn there. You can get in from that way and enter from that way, or you can go all the way around there and exit out there through Ann Arbor Trail. So you got this entrance here, and then you got this entrance over there. And that's Nankin Mills Park right there. That's where the powwow is held every year, and all the events that I do first aid at are held there. Last weekend they had a Earth Day event that I worked at, did first aid at, right there. And then every time that I walk on this bridge, it makes me feel like I'm crossing the Mackinac Island Bridge. And you have to live in Michigan, or you would have had to go to Mackinac Island to know what I'm talking about. The Mackinac Bridge is this bridge that takes you to Mackinac Island, and it goes over the lake. I think like Lake Huron, where Lake Huron and Lake Michigan meet, I think is two lakes. And the bridge has like little metal grates where when you're driving, you can actually look under and see the bottom. So when I'm walking over the water, which I'm literally over the water, you look down, you can see the water. Reminds me of the Mackinac Island Bridge. It really does.